Alright, got a lighter here called, I'll zoom in so you can see it. Danial Hechter. Never heard of it before. But we're going to work on getting it going. I don't even know if it leaks. You know what? I don't even care if it leaks or not, because I'm going to rebuild everything I can anyway, so it's not much going to matter if that fill valve leaks or not, because I'm not going to half repair a lighter and send it out just to have somebody later on tell me, hey, you know, it's got a leak in it. You know, we ain't going to go that route. Well, it's got a real small filler valve in there. I don't think I got a... Yeah, I think I got something here that might work on that. I had to rebuild a few tools here a while back. Make a few more of them, I should say. Here's one of them. This one here is a little thinner. Same thing here, except it's a little thicker. Thicker here, you can tell there, compared to here. Boy. Talking about just getting in there and working, that's it. Guys, if you listen, don't ask me about these tools, because if you got a computer and you're watching this video, you can get on Facebook or on eBay, and I think where I might have ordered these is on eBay. It's just stainless steel tube, guys. You know, rod, stainless steel rod tube, I believe it is. You know, it usually comes from China. So anyway, comes from China, and you can get different wall. This is a heavy wall, and the OD of this is 4 millimeter OD. Okay, I think it's 4 millimeter OD with a 2 millimeter internal diameter. Okay, all right. So just go from there. You get your Dremel tool and just Dremel them up to the thickness and what you need. Let me look at this. I'm thinking this is, oh boy. It could be a pressed on valve. You know, I just don't like working on pressed on valves. But it is what it is. See, here's another reason you want to look at that. I'm going to try to zoom down in there so you can see it, but see what you got here. You got a deformed seal. Don't get me wrong, that might have lasted forever if you'd stay in there. But when you got to take it out, you have to replace it. Yeah, this is a pressed in valve. I don't like the thought of that. They are what they are. There we go. There's the spring there. There's the cup. And there's the valve. And let me get something to hold on to this. See that seal in there? That seal, oh yeah, see that right there? Yeah, that seal. Of course, that could have been me putting heat on it, but I didn't put any more heat on it than I had to. But anyway, that's what you're up against there. Let's just say, for instance, you know, this seal is just rotted. They don't have, you know, you get lighters 30, 40, built 30, 40 years ago. It's built really well, but you got to realize that with today's compounds, we have a really good selection of materials to make O-rings out of. So, you know, it's a good thing. There's definitely advantages and disadvantages. I gotta get offline here, and I gotta get up close here so I can get this cleaned out. All right. Yeah, that O-ring definitely. If I tested that, it probably wasn't holding anything at all. We get to the point where on my newer videos I've just been doing the last few that I'm going to start cutting out some unnecessary you know, time lost and me having to go off camera or something to get something done because it's just not feasible for me to try to download or upload that stuff onto YouTube, because I'll be honest with you guys, this camera I got it set to the best, lowest quality I can, and it just takes hours. Sometimes upload one video, and guys, I don't have hours. I work about 45, 50 hours a week on a regular job, not counting when I get off work. I come home, and if I'm not mentally fatigued, I work on these. Right now I'm just trying to get the I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just trying to get the black part of the O-ring off the bottom shelf here. There's a shelf right down here that when See, let me zoom in here. I want to show you something. See this in here? This is a shelf right here. And when the spring pushes back, the O-ring sets on this shelf right here and seals. And you can see I'm getting a little bit of O-ring debris on the past O-ring, the old one. I'm getting some debris on here. That's why people think, well, that's just being finicky. No, because that O-ring has to be sealed around that brass tight, because you don't want a micro leak. Micro leaks sometimes require magnification to see them, and I've had them. I thought, well, I got that done, and you know, I look at that, and then I put my magnifiers on and fill that fill valve area up with butane, and next thing you know, I look close up on it, and I got a micro leak. That was plugged up a little bit on the inside. So, we're good there. Look on the inside here. It looks clean, but I still like to take a little bit of a cotton in there and just kind of clean it out a little bit. Cotton. I always use 91% alcohol, guys, when I'm doing this stuff for cleaning or for checking for leaks. They got 50 and they got 70. I use a 91. That's clean. Also, too, sometimes I don't like using these here because they'll get little lint. You don't want little lint inside there either, because that can give you a small leak, especially on these fill valves. Looks like we got a 2.5 there, and that's approximately, we'll just say call that 2. Okay, call that 2. And we'll see if this 2.6 will work in there. I'm thinking that'll work. Sometimes the best way to put these back too is to go ahead and press the O-ring down in there and put this on. Don't think that's going to work though on this, because this is extremely small. I've tried pressing them on with the O-ring on this, pressing it in, and sometimes it just cuts the O-ring up. So because, you know, there isn't no perfect size here on this, so I mean, it ain't like I got the original specs. I'm just putting this with materials that I can find that's going to work as close as possible to the original one as intended for it to use, work. And I'm going to put a little bit of O-ring grease on the outside of this. And the only reason is I usually don't, is just to get it to slide in there and help it seal. So just kind of help it get inside the excuse me, top of the valve here, which this one was going to be in there pretty good. Should be okay. Yeah, this is okay. We're good there. I usually take these and I stretch them a little bit. Alright, it's not, I mean a little bit, I mean just put a little bit more tension on it, you know, because these things sit in there for decades, and okay, you can see this is a pressed. Okay, let's pay attention to this, guys, because I'm gonna keep going over this. Don't, guys, just if you got questions on my videos, you know what, there's a good chance that I've covered it in one of my videos. I don't know which one it'd be, but you know what, look at my videos. Look at the different videos. You're going to learn something, even though it's a different lighter than what you're going to learn something from it. So, you know, if you can't find it at all, I'll do my best to answer your questions. But guys, I tell you what, between my time at work and time here, I don't have time. You need to exhaust all the resources that I give you before you try to stump me with, you know, hundreds of questions, okay? Because I don't have time to answer them all. If I don't answer, I'm busy, or I might answer you a year down the road if I just happen to miss it. Okay, this is a press fit valve. See how far I can press that in that's still coming out? Well, here's the problem. That's not as tight as it used to be. It's not going to stay in there. As soon as you press on this to fill this, it's going to pop that back off. So you got to come up. Well, what do you say? Well, what do you do? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay that down first things first, and I'm going to grab you some of this blue thread locker, blue Loctite, okay? Then I'm going to get something small, but you just can't put a drop on there, okay? A drop on this is way much, and you don't need any blue Loctite inside. You know, you don't need blue Loctite on the inside of your fill valve. I don't know if you see that, but I got just a little bitty drop on the end of that. What I'm going to do is just put that right on here. Then I'll kind of move it around here. Alright. Then I'm going to press that on. Okay, I pressed that on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of leave that off to the side just the way I got it to kind of let that blue Loctite set. Once you do that, you'll be fine. Alright. Okay. So that's it on the fill valve. Let's see what we got inside here. I don't know what that is on the bottom there, unless it's just crud or what, but guess I'm going to find out what it is. If I can find my tool. There it is. Okay, that's got to be some sealer. That's probably why this case didn't pop off. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and first thing off here, take off your flint screw, take your spring out, dump your flint, throw that flint away. And you always want to do that. Make sure taking stuff apart like this, take that out first because you don't want your parts, under spring pressure. Next thing you know, you're on your hands and knees looking for something like I've done many a times. Now you want to pay attention to some of these here too, because you see this? Sometimes they got a little sleeve in there. You don't want to lose that sleeve, guys. That will cause you some unpleasant results. And you're going to have a hard time. You'd probably have to get on AliExpress or something and try to order a tube that'd work, and that's just, get them little containers. I got these little containers, that I put stuff in, but right now I got everything on this cloth. Now if I was working off this paper here, I'd have that stuff inside the bowl, because that stuff wants to walk off on me. Let's see. Also, too, that blue thread locker is don't use red, guys. Good Lord, don't use red. That's full strength, You don't want to use red. Well, listen here, it has a little flame adjustment stopper right here. See that? The others I had didn't have that. That means I got to pop this off just from the top right here. Right there a little bit. Let me get under here with something thin. Just work that up. There we go. I hate these little freaking stopper ones. But it is what it is. also too, when you're using tools like this on stuff like this, guys, you don't have to squeeze that. You don't want to squeeze that real tight, because these aren't in there that tough, because they got seals on. Here's a black O-ring or a flat seal on underneath this. This one, you'll either come out with a wick on it or not. Now this one has a wick on it. Alright. Now I'm going to pull this wick out. Barely stuck in there. So I can try to get something in there to get the brass washer and the old sponge out. There's the washer right there. The sponge is probably tucked onto it. Yep, it's a washer sponge combination. Boy, look how small that is. I'm going to zoom up, guys. Let me show you what we got here. There's the sponge side. And there's that little brass. My video camera. There's that little brass plate. There's the sponge side. Okay. Boy, that's small. Wow. I need to get me a container to put that stuff in. That stuff gonna walk off if I don't. I'm getting quite a bit of them. A little bit full. And got like 3 or 4 lighters apart, because some of them I'm waiting for testing for leaks. You know, you gotta let it sit for a while, test for leaks. Alright, so while it's waiting to check for leaks, I'm gonna start taking off another one. Yeah, okay, it looks pretty good. But I can't see down in there. I can't recommend, you know what, guys? Get one of these. I can't remember what they call them. It's a light where, you know, they use to check your ears out. This is a cheap one, but they used to have a magnifier on top of it, but I took it off. So it's got different sizes of these on, so you can stick it down in there. And when you turn the light on, it just lights up so you can see on the inside. Well, that's not too bad. That's a little dirty, but it's not too bad. Oh, good. I'll just clean that out a little bit and we'll be in good shape. I better grab another Q-tip on there. Dab that in a little bit of alcohol I got over here. And stuff that down in there. Turn it around a little bit. And looky there. Clean already. Wasn't hardly much dirt on there at all. That's good. That's good. Oh yeah. Perfect. That's perfect. So I'm gonna take this wick, stick it back in the bottom. Now, there's usually screw threads on them. There's usually screw threads in these right here. And Kind of stick that on there, just kind of screw that in a little bit. We're good. Now the only thing I want to do now is I want to check out this O-ring here. Or flat seal, I should say. You know, it appears to be pliable, but I'm going to take it off. Yes. It's deformed a little bit, and it's pretty thin. You might as well just have a good O-ring. I don't have flat seals, but the O-rings I got they'll work good enough for that. I'll have to see what the OD is off on this. That's a 5mm outer diameter. This is a 5.1. I'm going to clean this a little bit here too. I usually spend time and clean these lighters up as best I can. You know, a lot of the guys, you send lighters in to like other companies that repair for a living. They don't do this, just so you'll know. They're not going to clean your lighter up. Now, there are guys out there that repair like higher quality lighters, you know, say for instance like a Danial roller gas, and they'll run your lighter and stuff through in a ultrasonic cleaner, you know, which, you know, if you ever had to send a Danial roller gas into ARS lighter repair, you know they charge $125 for their service. So, but I don't think that they actually clean theirs. I've sent several lighters into them. I think I've sent 3 or 4 of them into them because back when I needed parts, like if you got a bad piezo, you know, to electronic lighter, you know, I didn't have the parts, you know, they're IM Corona lighters that I sent in, so I had to have an IM Corona authorized repair person fix it because I didn't have the parts. So, you know, it cost me for a little bit broken part, otherwise the lighter is completely fine. It cost me $75. Let's see. I think it was $10 to ship it to them. 15. They send it back with signature confirmation. Probably about $12 to $15 to send it back to you, plus about $65. So you're gonna have $80 in a service just for a basic lighter. That's good enough there. So, but we need ARS, guys. But ARS isn't going to do what I'm doing here. They're not going to, because right now, if there was something bad, like say for instance, they was fixing this lighter and they had parts, they're, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, they're just going to freaking replace parts that they need, like that little valve system I got in here. I told you I hate working on. This one here, with a little stopper in it. They ain't even going to mess with that. They're just going to take that freaking part out, throw it away, and they'll put another one in there. But see, these you're talking about lighters I'm working on. It's been long since those companies are gone. And like Colibri now, say for instance, isn't the same Colibri it was back in the day. And if you can get an old Colibri lighter and think, well, I'm going to get a hold of Colibri and get some parts for it, you're not. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get any parts for it. That's just the way it is. Okay, let me get a O-ring here. I'm thinking that 4.5 right there. Bear with me a minute here. I gotta write this down. I'm writing this stuff down. I forgot the name of this here. What was it? Danial Hechter. Okay. Looks like a brown marble type on this. All right. Now let's see. This part here, guys, would be called the wick assembly. Wick assembly. O-ring. This is going to work here. I mean, it's going to work. Let's see. 4.5 OD by a 0.8 CS. CS is cord size. You want to know where to get these at? This guy right here. This is the cheapest guy you can get right here. You get on AliExpress. Order from this guy. Last time I got a little bitty package in the mail, had 2,000 O-rings in it. And always buy the sizes. If you need like a 4, buy a 4.1, 3. Just buy everything. That's what I did. I just went and checked it off and just bought everything because it takes 2 or 3 weeks to get it from China. And you figure, well, I should have ordered some more. Well, guys, I tell you what, I've spent $600 I probably in over the years on O-rings. I still got a lot of them left, don't get me wrong. But buy them and have them. You know the old saying, better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it? Well, bet you don't know the exact dimensions of these, lighters here. It's better to have it, just in case. I think that's gonna, let me look at that. I think that's gonna be okay right there. Yep. All right. I'll call that part right there is done. As further as I can go on that. Set that off side. Yeah, I need to clean this up, see where the seam's at. Sometimes it comes apart from the top on these, sometimes they come apart from the bottom. And sometimes you just can't tell. This in here, This one here comes apart from the top. I'm going to show you why here. All right. Let me get something small here. Let me get a little razor blade. While I got you here, I'm just going to cut this off. Get this off of here. Because when you've been, I don't care if when you've been on something for 50 years, guys, just take it off and replace it. It's already been compressed for so long, it's not going to be the same tolerance as it was when it was put on there. So take it off. Okay, now on these, if it comes off from the bottom, you'll see a little bitty line right here. This, because it's press fitted in. It doesn't have that there. And I see this top right here, and I thought, okay. I was thinking this is where it's going to be pressed together right here. And sometimes that's not, sometimes on these, if I can't get them off on the top here, you see there ain't much room to grab onto that, guys. There ain't much room at all. There's no room to grab on that with a tool. So sometimes you're at the sometimes you just got to put them together and hope that the seal inside here, the stopper, is still working. And in this case, this is what I'm going to do, because if I try to pull this thing apart here, I'm going to ruin something. Now the only thing I can think of is that does have a knurled edge around that top there, okay? I will try to heat that just a little bit. No, I'm not. What I'm going to do on this is put it on. Put a new seal around here and put it on, because I don't want to heat nothing. And if I put it on and it's not stopping because the stopper down there ain't working, I got to take it off and I have to separate this. There's no other way, or it won't work. Unless I got a valve that's similar to this, which I doubt, because these have a certain diameter outer edge, so that flame adjustment, part right here fits over this. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, let's try putting them on this way. Yeah, you see? Those them teeth made together. Okay, let me clean this part off while I got it here. Sometimes, guys, you just can't. You just can't. That's why, to be honest, you're better off. Well, there's a low and a high X on that for. Well, that makes sense. Didn't even notice that before. There's a little low and high going to have to get something to stabilize this camera better. But we're going to put that back. All right. What have we got here? 2.16. I want to put that on here so it won't walk away on me. Okay, that's a 2.16. I got a 2.0. That's not going to work, and I got this 2.6. This is one I think I'm going to have to use right here. If I can get it in there and get it turned, we'll be okay. But that's the size, 2.6 by 0.8. That's really kind of big around. It's larger in diameter than I like, but if I can get that, put a little bit of silicone lubricant on that and get that in there and it turns. Even if it's a little bit harder, I gotta use it. It is what it is. I need to put my sponge and stuff in there, but right now, oh yeah, right now I'm thinking I'll be able to use that. Yep, I'll be able to use that. That's great. So I'm going to set that down right here where it's clean. Then the next step, before I go any further, I got to get that sponge and everything worked out. Okay, keep in mind that keep in mind that the important thing on this is and all these, not all these type of lighters will have these, but you got to have that brass piece. All right, so you want to save that. You say why? Because when you're adjusting that flame screw, screwing it in, screwing it clockwise, compresses the sponge, because this here screws down on top of this. You see what I'm saying? So that sponge isn't getting ate up by you just twisting on in. It's twisting on this brass and spinning. So the brass protects the sponge. Okay, that's what the idea is. I've got to get my very fine tweezers in here and try cleaning the top of this off a little bit to get the crud off of it. There we go. There we go. I think you can see how fine that is now. Alright. set that down. Side now. What I'll do is, what did I say that was? 2 point. I'll use a 2 millimeter sponge is what I'm going to use. I'll measure the size of this one. The OD of this sponge will come out of there, but about 2 millimeter, maybe 2.5. Two millimeter ought to work. That's a thin sponge. So let's see what I got here. Let's see here. Pick out something that I feel is going to work pretty good. Try to see if I can get something thin. We got some new sponges here, but they're thick. I don't want anything really thick. Well, let's see here. It might work. We're going to go with that one. I'm going to take this new one and I'm just going to punch it down. Punch it down and put it on there and get my little 2 millimeter punch, which I think is right there. Yeah. And try to poke one out of it where look at there. Now, I want you to see something here. Here's the original sponge. See that little indentation right there? That's from the orifice that's inside here. So when you push down that sponge plug up that hole. But you know what I found out is if that sponge gets stuck down in there, usually you can't get no gas out of it. So that's why I like to cut these with the hole in the middle, because you got to remember that's your little brass piece, you know, that's going to fit on top of that. This one right here. It's going to push down on that sponge, and it's going to compress enough where even with that hole in it, there isn't anything going to come out. Okay, so alright. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because that's too small. Okay. Looked inside there and that's too small, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to punch another one at 2.5. And just dropped it on the floor. Bear with me, guys. Time to grab my flashlight and get on the floor. There it is. I'll tell you what, if you're going to be doing this, you better have a linoleum floor. You get carpet in there beneath your desk and you drop something on there, you'll never find it, especially small parts like you deal with in this kind of repair. You'll never find it. Alright, there's that. I need to get a 2.5 right here. That's the size I want. Okay, now let's put that down in there. That'll work better. Perfect. That is just what I needed. I only got one problem right here, right now. I can't find the little brass plug. Probably have to get on the floor and look for that. What was right here on this? That's another reason. Well, I get on the floor and look. I might have had my arm on there and drug it off. Might be on the bottom of my book too. Using my little broom I got here to kind of rake everything up in a little pile. Look at my book. I really don't want to lose that. I mean, I can get by without it, but I like to put things back the way they were. There it is, yeah. Come off my book here. I had that book laying on it. when I hit on it, so freaking small that there it is. Yeah. I guess pay attention to what you're doing more than I do, guys. I gotta press down on it a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Good as it's gonna get. Boy, that old ring is a little tight. It is a little tight. Let me turn that down with this. Okay. And let's put the fill valve back in. Yeah, well, there it is. That should be ready. That should be ready. Let's get an O-ring on that. 3.84 OD. 1, 3. I'm thinking this will work here. Yeah, this will work. Let's see. Yeah, this should work. But I want to find a bigger one. Since I got it in here, let me get a bigger one out. 3.6, that'll work. 3.6 is closer. Okay. Okay, fill valve. 3.6 OD by 0.8 CS. I'll have to get off camera. I didn't write down the other one, but I'll get that off camera later on and write it down. looks good. That looks good. I'm gonna put a little silicone around that. That might be a little tight fitting in there. Let me just there we go. All right. What I'm going to do right now is do a little test on it. We'll see what we got. I'll get the air out. Guys, you get too much. You gotta bleed your lighters. Get too much air in there, you won't be able to fill your lighters up very far. Well, come on. See what we got now. There we go. All right, let's unscrew this till we get a flame. There's a flame. There's a low flame. Oh, wow. Looks like the stopper's gonna work. Yeah, cool. I'd say that's pretty good for a high flame. Let's try a low flame. That's good. Yeah, hello.
You are done?
Yeah, I'm still videoing. Won't be, give me about 30 minutes, okay? Alright. My wife asked me if I was done. Alright. Yeah, I think that's good there. That's good. We'll shut it off. Okay. Here's what we want to do next. We want to go ahead and I'll clean this here top Clean her up, guys. You know, you got the parts apart, right? Clean her up. Take a little pride in your work, you know. Do the best you can. I clean off what I can. It doesn't mean I can get it perfect. Some of that stuff's on there. Really, really good. You don't want to overdo it and cleaning at the expense of taking your finish off. We're not going to do that. Just going to do the best we can right there. How I usually put these together. Put the little, remember, put the little right there in there, the spacer, and get your screw started in here, like that. Then sneak it down into there like that. That's usually how I've done them before. Let's try this at a different there we got her. Oh, I see why this one don't do that. Okay. This one has a recess. This one has a recess. That's right. The other ones didn't have a recess. See right here? There's a little recess in there. So we put that on, then put this on. There we go. It's amazing how you think these lighters are the same as others, but they're not. Until you start taking them apart, you don't realize that. There's a few minor differences. All right. Some of my premium flints. I recommend you purchase them. I got these off eBay. They come from Turkey or something. Bought 1,000 of them. Alright, let's turn the gas up on that. There we go. Oop, blew it out. That's more than you'll ever need. What I do is when I get it like this, I set it on high. And I hold it up to my ear and I open up this cap. And let the cap go. Make sure it's not leaking. Looks like we're good there. So we'll put this back on and I'll fill this lighter up and I'll let it set for a couple days, or at least a day. A day you ought to be able to tell. Now you don't have to take that off the fill because there's a hole in here, alright? Oh yeah. Okay. And I'll get my little scale out of here. Weigh it up. Now it might lose 1/10 of a gram. See that? It says 39.8. Now I'm going to write that down now, but sometimes when that gas stabilizes, it might go down to 39.7. So if tomorrow you check it and you get a 39.7, just write it down, then wait a couple, 2 or 3 more days, or another day, and see if it loses any more. Okay? Because sometimes, I just filled it up, and this gas, this liquid becomes stable and stuff. It can change a little bit. Well, anyway, there you go there, guys. The old Danial Hechter lighter. Hechter. Alright, actually a very nice lighter. I don't know if I zoomed in on it for you, but it's actually got some heft to it. Not a bad quality lighter. And I'll polish it up and put it in the clear plastic bag that the gentleman sent it to me in, and tomorrow I'll take it out and weigh it up again, and we'll see where it comes to. That's it, guys.